Hello, it's that time again. Get up, get off the couch, and tackle your own to-do list. I am your host, Bob Assadourian. Welcome to another episode of Just Ask Bob Live. This show has two goals in mind. It always has. Goal number one, to motivate you, to get you up and off the couch, to tackle your own to-do list. We call it DIY, do it yourself. Doesn't matter what it is, replacing a simple tile, updating a kitchen countertop, replacing a tile, painting, right to the big stuff. Decks, basement renovations, man caves, backyard oasis, kitchens, bathrooms, you name it. Now, if for whatever reason you refuse or you cannot get up and off the couch, maybe the ladder's not tall enough to reach the second story eavesdrops, that's fine. Episode by episode, Bob will demystify the process of hiring what I like to call the right contractor for you and your home. That's absolutely critical. No ifs, ands, or buts. If you're going to hire out, I want you to hire out smart. Licensing, that's key. Up on screen now, you should be seeing Bob's license. The host of today's show is actually licensed, unlike most reality television shows. Now, why is the license important? The license makes the difference. Now, it's not the end all or be all. The license doesn't guarantee you absolutely beautiful painting cut lines. Doesn't guarantee the contractor's never going to track any mud in, although he shouldn't. The license is a foundation to build a relationship on, and it's actually the law. In my municipality, Hamilton, Ontario, what the license means is that a prospective contractor will write a 2-hour examination on the Ontario Building Code. 2-hour examination, must have a passing mark of at least 70%. Prior to writing the examination, he must show a valid police clearance to the trade exam board in order to be put on the list to write the test. After he's passed the exam, he must also show that he carries minimum $2 million contractor's liability insurance. So why is this important? In the absence of a license, the contractor you hire, I wouldn't even call him a contractor. Yesterday, he could be making subs or pumping gas. Today, he's in your home tearing it apart. Nothing wrong with making subs and pumping gas as long as that's what you're supposed to be doing. When you cross the line and you come into people's homes and you potentially tear out structure, redo wiring, redo plumbing, rip things apart, require a City of Hamilton building permit or whatever municipality you live in, it's very, very important that these people you call into your home are properly licensed. Now, the police clearance, that speaks volumes. This contractor you hire, in many cases, may be working in your home from well before you leave for work, and he may still be working in your home once you've come back from work. You have family, you have valuables, the police clearance is a must. Now, the other half of this program kicks off with answering your questions. You can email us at askbob@cable14.com, tweet us at justaskbob, or please pick up the phone and call 905-645-3232. It's that phone call that can win you in the contest. Call in and win contest, win one of 4 $50 Home Depot gift cards to get you up and off the couch to tackle your own to-do list. All you have to do, call into the live show, hit Bob with your hardest home rental question. For full contest details, go to cable14.com/Bob contest. Now, it's these questions, whether they're tweeted in, whether they're emailed in, or you called them in, that precipitate the rental footage. Let me explain the rental footage. We're in COVID-19 times, troubled economic times, difficult year for everybody. Unlike past seasons, due to social distancing, we're shooting our own renovation footage on my job sites. Now, that does make things difficult. While we can't promise you all the footage will be in focus and nothing will be shaky, we're not professionals behind the camcorder. We are professionals with the tool belt and with the tools and with performing the renovations. So that's very, very important for you to understand. Your renovation question may feature a future episode. Here on the show, I can answer your questions verbally, but nothing beats kicking up the sawdust, powering up the circular saw, and building it right on the job site in order to answer your question. That's very, very important. So keep those questions coming in, and especially remember, if it's a phone call, you have a chance to win. We're going to kick it off with an email here today. Hello, Bob. Can you please tell me what your thoughts are on metal entry doors versus fiberglass doors? I haven't seen you do a door episode this season. This is from Marianne from Burlington. Marianne, wonderful question. Thank you very much. You're actually right. We have not done a door episode in probably 9 years. So again, visit our site, www.justaskbob.com, largest database on the net, nearly 140 episodes there from the 11 years I've been on this very network. So when you hit videos, just keep scrolling down. It's about 9 years back tense in the past where we did a door episode. Questions now between metal and fiberglass. Again, it depends what your expectations are. A metal door is tried and tested. They're very strong doors. However, they have some drawbacks. Years ago, the manufacturers tried to give them a finish that would look like wood. Terrible finish. Didn't really work well. The metal doors, honestly, they can only accept paint. Now, the fiberglass doors, they can be stained. That's the key now. The stain is what I'm in love with, and the stain is what many, many homeowners are in love with. Now, they're also dent resistant. I wouldn't say there's no way to dent them or crack them. Depends what you're doing to them. But in most applications, in most cases, they will not show a dent like a metal door will. A metal door, very easily it'll dent, it'll stay dented. So there's a couple of different ideas here. Now also the finishing components, the brick mold around the door jamb, a lot of the components on the inside as well, they're finished in fiberglass or in non-wood products. So this is a door that will truly last the test of time. This is a project that is very DIY oriented. Now, I'm not going to say it's absolutely easy. You'll need a few people to help you lift the door, depending on how heavy it is, what configuration it is. But with some simple power tools, simple hand tools, great measuring skills, and you have to know how to use the level for level and plumb in both directions, you can do this yourself. And from a real estate perspective, generally speaking, what's the first thing people see on your home? It's the front door. So make that front door beautiful, and it's going to be that home's going to shine on the block. Enjoy the renovation footage, and don't forget, second half of the show, get your home rental questions ready. Right here, Bob will be in studio to answer them. Welcome to our episode on doors. Entry doors, we're going to discuss metal, we're going to discuss fiberglass. We're here today at the Gentech showroom. Thank you, big thanks to my good friend Ryan. Ryan, really appreciate you having us here.
Thank you.
Please tell us all about Gentech. That's first and foremost. I want the viewers at home to learn about Gentech building products.
Okay, so Gentech Building Products, we've been around for 50 or more years under a couple different names. We manufacture and distribute exterior building products. We manufacture vinyl siding, aluminum products, vinyl windows, and we distribute doors and all of the additional items that go along with your home.
Please tell us about the doors, especially the ones we have here. Love the colors, love the blue and red.
Okay, so we start here because it actually gives you two different options for glass, right? So everybody's looking for different styles. Nobody wants to be able to see through their door, but they do want to have light coming through. So there's actually 4 different styles of glass. You can completely customize a door, whether it's fiberglass or steel. You can pick the color, different styles of frames. You can see with this blue one here that it's a very contemporary style. And again, this one may remind you of an older style door, an older style home, but it's brand new again. So you move on to 2 styles of doors. So there's steel doors, there's fiberglass doors, both wood grain and smooth. So with a fiberglass door, this one in particular, Gentech has premium components, all Canadian made components, and it's a Canadian made door. Our finishing process is different and patented. You're not going to find this with anybody else. So we do a 3-layer process, finishing with a top coat, and that top coat allows for 0 maintenance, which is what everybody's looking for these days.
In your opinion, please, the big debate, I'm always asked this question, metal versus fiberglass, and I know sometimes it's not an easy answer.
So it's really not an easy answer because it's actually more about your opinion, your choice, what you're looking for in a door. So difference being, this is a very solid door. Fiberglass isn't going to dent, It's not going to delaminate. Taking it into a third option for doors like wood, it's not going to split or warp like you would find in those. So we use a very heavy gauge steel, so it's really difficult to dent one of our doors. However, it is possible. So you got to take a look at what you are looking for in a door. If you want a wood grain look to your door, you're not getting that with steel. Okay? Those are the main differences between doors. That's simply, and then choosing what color sill. I mean, there's two different colors. There's black anodized and there's a no finish sill.
Well, I love the fiberglass. It's a gorgeous door. While we're here, can you please give us a tour? Because for the viewers at home, I want them to know clearly, Gentech is a lot more than just doors and windows. I don't want you just getting tagged as a door and window company. I know myself, I use your aluminum coils for all our capping. Please give us a tour of some of the beautiful products you have.
Okay, so let's actually start over here with Gentech vinyl siding. So this is what we've been known for years and years. So if you actually take a look at this wall here, you can see that we've got our board and batten, which is an iron ore, which is our most popular color, actually the top color across Canada, followed by white, which is a different profile, but white is coming back. You're seeing it more and more.
I love the iron ore. We used that. We used that on a cabana last year.
Yeah.
Stunning. With the black aluminum capping, for the soffit fascia and the eavesdrops. Beautiful combination.
You're seeing it everywhere. So, and then there's a wood grain aluminum product. So this is what started this wood grain phase in cladding products. It's called Longboard. We've been a distributor for a number of years now. It is by far the best cladding product when it comes to wood grain and aluminum on the market. Right. So this product here is Fiberglass siding. Gentech's the Canadian distributor, exclusive distributor for this product. It's a mineral composite siding. Mineral composite means it's actually made of, it starts with stone. Okay, so the expansion and contraction in PVC as a rule is quite large. With this product, it's the lowest in its class. So when you're using it, you can use narrow trims, you can keep it with more of a contemporary look.
Wow, Ryan, I love that for the maintenance-free aspect. My homeowners, they don't want to be scraping, peeling, painting, redoing that every so many years.
Right.
As opposed to back in the day when everything was wood.
Right, and I mean, it's really, it looks like wood.
Oh, it does, it does, it does. That's why I tell everybody, visit a Gentech showroom. You can see it. Absolutely amazing. Ryan, thank you so much for the tour. This is an absolutely amazing showroom. I want to thank you, all the great people behind the scenes at Gentech, for making this episode possible. Before we head to the job site, let's go through a nice picture slideshow. Provide you some education and research information on the variety of doors. What you're looking at on your screen now, you can't get more old school than that. Rock solid wooden entry door. If you have this on your home, please strongly consider replacing it before the upcoming winter. This door, although strong, not efficient, not smart. It will always change shape. You can't see it changing, but it will slightly shrink and expand during temperature changes, just enough to let you lose your heat right outside the door. Not very energy efficient at all. Again, another wood door. Pay close attention to the knocker. There she is. Back in the day before doorbells were popular. Another wooden door. Interesting with the glass. Another wooden door. This is nice. Love the hinge hardware on it. Now, this is from a distance, so I can't bet if this is fiberglass or metal, but it's got to be one or the other. Either way, very energy efficient. This is very nice, very interesting. Frosted glass protects and allows privacy. Purple, love it, very different. Please be creative. There is no wrong and no right when it comes to decorating. It's what you like and what you can live with. Another one here with the one side light. Double doors. Lots of glass here. Two side lights and the overhead glass. This allows maximum light into the home. Very nice wrought iron work. Beautiful door. I'm assuming fiberglass. This is nice. Love the style. And the double knockers. This is a nice look, different. And right to fiberglass, today's top pick. This is actually the one we'll be installing on the upcoming footage. This is from Gentech Building Materials. Very, very high quality door, made of fiberglass, dent and ding resistant, maximum energy efficiency, beautiful side lights both right and left, and a half light in the door itself. Now we're off to the job site. Welcome to our job site. Today we're going to be replacing this existing steel entry door with Bob's top pick, fiberglass entry door. Follow us inside as we start to use the Sawzall. You're going to need a very strong Sawzall. Bob strongly recommends his top pick, the Milwaukee. This will make ease of the job. We found 2 points. This door is fastened right here, so we can see the shim, and it's also fastened down here. All right, we finally have the door close to the opening. However, now there's always 2 different ways to do this. Some installers will install the actual door, then install the lock set afterwards. Bob's learned over time through experience that I prefer installing the lock set before installing the door. The reason for this is sometimes you level the door at the bottom as best as you can. However, if you're off even the slightest, when you go to turn the deadbolt and the knob lock, they resist a little bit going into the hole in the latch side. So by having the lock set pre-installed makes for an easier installation, because once you install it, you can still shim it accordingly. How you feeling, Josh?
Good.
Awesome. Awesome. A lot of holding, right?
Yep.
And there's Ethan. Ethan, give us a big wave. Good job. And we got our master champ here, Frank, on the lock set. Good job, Frank. All right. Well, Frank, what do you think of the door lock? You can be honest for the viewers. Pain in the, you know what?
No, it's good. It's high quality. I like it.
It is high quality, but it's still a pain. Unfortunately, the manufacturers, at times, not with this particular one, on some doors you'll find that the actual routering out for the latches, for the hardware, can need some finessing. Now this is a big job. You'll need at least 4 men, strong men, to take care of this, or 1 weak man and 3 strong helpers. Either way, you need the strength. Finally got the door in. Lots of effort, back-breaking effort. These fiberglass entry door systems are very heavy, especially with the side lights. Now you want to make absolutely certain that you're plumb both directions and that you're level across the bottom. That's absolutely critical. We're going to step inside now. We're going to try to give you a perspective inside and outside view as we shim it in. This door is only tacked in with 4 screws temporarily, holding it in place as we work to get it plumb and level. How's that, Frank?
Yeah, that's pretty good, Bobby.
Tight?
Tight.
Okay, where's the next one?
I'm down.
You go first.
I need another one in here, Bob.
Push in. Still a little loose. Don't let them drop. Push.
Okay. I think that's good.
Okay.
Go on 2 on this one.
We'll start with 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Put your 2 in. All the way. Push them in.
Push it in a little tighter.
Yeah, hold on. Perfect.
Just a couple of stages left in this door installation. We're on day 2 here. Now you see those 3 pieces there? That's the brick mold. Fiberglass brick mold that actually came pre-attached and pre-installed on this door. However, we had a problem. If you have a look here, the actual brick opening was not square. So we had, unfortunately, it was either cut the brickwork or remove the brick mold. Cutting the brick would have shown the saw cut edge, so that wouldn't have worked out nice. So we can adapt, we can accept this challenge. Since we have it off now, let's show you what we've done. You want to have a nice spray foam perimeter seal. Don't let your contractor be cheap with the spray foam. This was an original builder's quality door. The original door, not a lot of spray foam in it at all. We probably added twice the amount. It's very important that you spray foam it correctly. Anytime you have the brick mold off, take advantage and do a full tuck tape seal. This protects from moisture, and it's an added level of protection. This is what you call detail. I doubt any contractor would work to this level of detail. So as we always say, when you cut the crooked and overcharging contractor out of the equation, spend the time, do it right. After all, it's your own home. And this is a double layer, and we installed it from the bottom up, creating a watershed effect. If any water were to get behind the caulking, behind the brick mold, you have full protection to the inside envelope of your home. Finally, the finish reveal. For those of you at home, honestly, what do you think you're looking at? An old world, historic wooden door or a brand new fiberglass entry door? If you guessed fiberglass, you're right. If you guessed wood, you're almost right, because it certainly looks like wood. If we can take a few takeaways from today's episode, if we compare wooden doors, metal doors, and fiberglass doors, wood does not exist anymore in new home construction, and at least in our climate, not even in remodels. Metal doors, similar to fiberglass doors, have a beautiful energy seal. You will not lose heat. They're very well insulated. However, the metal doors, they will dent and ding somewhat easily. Fiberglass is extremely resistant to dents and dings. It can give you these beautiful rich wood tones. It gives you a lot of design possibility. This particular one is from Gentech Building Products, which Bob highly recommends. So Bob's top pick for this episode is fiberglass. A multitude of configurations. You can get the door on its own. You can have anything from a small moon window in it to a half light to a full light glass, side lights. You can also have a light across the top of glass. Many, many design options. Now, Bob's not here to make your decisions for you. Do your own due diligence, volumes of information on the web, research, and make absolutely certain that whether it's you that installs it, don't cut any corners. If it is a contractor that installs it, make absolutely certain they are licensed. Welcome back to Just Ask Bob Live. I hope you enjoyed our footage. A couple of follow-up items now. You've heard the saying, measure twice, cut once. Well, in the situation of ordering a door, measure at least 3 times and have your helpful Gentech representative go over all the measurements with you. Couple of key points to think about. These doors aren't cheap. Anything of quality is expensive. So you want to make absolutely sure your measurements are accurate. On the outside of your existing door, you're going to have the brick mold. It's best to remove that. Take it off. That way you can get an exact measurement of what's called a rough opening. Brick to brick or siding to siding, whatever the finishing exterior material is. You also need to know your jamb depth. If it's an old double bricked home, you have to measure very, very carefully. If it's a 2x4 home, you know you're 3.5 inches on the stud. You have 5/8 for your sheathing on the outside. You should have 1/2 inch on the inside for drywall. If it's recent construction, probably the last 10 years or so, maybe 15, it would be 2x6 construction. So you're 5.5 inches deep on your stud. Again, 5/8 of an inch thick sheathing on the outside, 1/2 inch drywall on the inside. All these measurements matter. So you're going to want to pull off the brick mold on the outside, the casing on the inside in order to get exact measurements. You can order the door with the brick mold, what's called loose, or with the brick mold attached. Now, if it's fiberglass or vinyl clad, in most cases it'll be attached. And as you can see on this episode, we had to take it off. And I measured that opening not once, twice, but 3 times. But I still even didn't take into account the issue with the brick. And the issue with the brick was less than 3/8 of an inch off at the top. That's all it takes. Because for the tight clearance, you only want about 1/8 or so around all 3 sides to apply your caulking. You don't want 3/4 of an inch of caulking around the perimeter. That's really bad. So please be very, very careful. Measure several times. Talk to your Gentech representative. They'll also help you with the measuring, educate you, because their goal is the same as yours. A nicely ordered door that's going to go in beautifully. Couple of other items. As long as the door is perfectly level and plumb in both directions, you're not going to have a problem. But you don't want to go bolting it in too quickly. Tack it in with just 4 screws, close the door, and then you want to sight line it. It's absolutely critical you sight line it. What you're going to be sight lining is the contact point of the door to the weather strip. As the door closes, if the top part of the door touches the weather strip, and then looking down, it's missing by 1/4 to 3/8, your door's not plumb. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Again, this is a project that can be done. It requires some skill set, some power tools, some hand tools, but empower yourself, and it's your own home. So DIY, you can do it better than any contractor can. Now, we're into the second half of the program. Get your home rental questions ready. Email them to askbob@cable14.com, tweet at Just Ask Bob, or pick up the phone and call 905-645-3232. Bob's Call In and Win contest. Call in and win one of 4 $50 Home Depot gift cards to get you up and off the couch to tackle your own to-do list. All you have to do, call into the live show, hit Bob with your hardest home rental question. For full contest details, please go to cable14.com/Bob contest. We're taking a quick break. We'll be right back.
Are you free on Monday nights and looking for the hottest game in town? It's right here on Cable 14, Kiwanis TV Bingo, giving away a $5,000 prize board each and every week, all while supporting children and youth in Hamilton. See you Mondays at 7.
During these past few months, I've encountered some challenging situations as an emergency department physician, but we are passionate about helping patients. This is not just our commitment, it's our calling. When you give the gift of health this holiday season and support Hamilton Health Sciences Foundation, you are helping caregivers like me have the resources we require to deliver the best possible care. Please give the greatest gift of all, the gift of health.
Watch The Opinionators, your weekly dose of provincial and federal politics with a partisan slant. Airing Thursdays at 5:30 on Cable 14.
It's about sharing and caring. It's about doing and belonging. It's about living life to its fullest. And it's about laughing out loud. We are L'Arche Canada, and we're about witnessing and sharing the gifts of all people. Learn more about us today.
Welcome back to Just Ask Bob Live, and we kick it off with a viewer's email. Hello, Bob. I am a 54-year-old man who used to do some home repairs myself until I became disabled due to a car accident. I currently have 4 eaves trough leaks at the corner joints of my house, and I need to get them fixed since they will cause ice to form on my driveway. Can you please help me with these repairs, as I'm having trouble trying to find a contractor for this work? Sincerely, Marco Mostacci. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, sir. Marco, thank you very much for the email. And I do apologize. There's really nothing that can be done this time of year, especially with this weather. Believe it or not, until May of 2021. Now, please let me explain. It's not because Bob's lazy, or it's not because any of these contractors you're contacting are lazy. Could be, I don't know them. But realistically, the situation is it's just too wet. It can't be done. In 20 years of being a contractor, I've never found a sealant that can do the job with the eaves trough being damp or wet. So to explain this better, let me tell you the way I do it. My company's procedure is, where they say April showers bring May flowers. So kicking it off in May and then right to about the middle of September is the only time I do eaves trough repairs that are associated with miters, corners, or caulking. So if it's a downspout or if it's a loose eaves trough, that can be done any time of the year. So what I do is I get up there in a ladder, clean out any leaves or debris, and then painstakingly, with a variety of tools, clean out the old sealant. Now I call it sealant. You may call it caulking. Caulking, sealant, similar type of thing. It's basically sealing the connection. Eaves troughs are seamless, and the good ones are at least, but they obviously can't turn bends. That miter may look beautiful from a distance, but that's two separate pieces. They're butted together and they're sealed with the sealant or the caulking. So to remove that, I use everything from a scraper, a small flathead screwdriver, pry bar, razor blade, X-Acto knife, whatever it takes. And it's painstaking work because if you push too hard or you scrape too hard, you can actually puncture the eaves trough because it's made of thin aluminum. Once everything's removed, I clean it with acetone. So I literally pour acetone on it and it evaporates instantly. Now with that being said, the eaves trough's got to be dry. Many cases, even May, June, or July, or August, if it's rained within a few days and the eaves troughs are not sloped correctly or there's blockages with leaves and debris, the water's got to be drained. I don't care if I've got to manually push it with a tool or with my hand to get it to the outlets, to get it to drain. Then we dry the eaves trough. You have to be dry. You have to be clean. Then we apply the sealant without even so much a fingerprint on it. Because remember, we've just cleaned it with acetone. So I don't touch the area. I caulk it, and then I carefully spread the caulking. Even so much as dropping an eyelash or two in there can damage the seal. That's how finicky it is. Stopping water from leaking or dripping, the greatest force of Mother Nature is water. Believe me, in many cases, it's unstoppable and even untrackable. So you have to be very careful. Now, we're in the month of December 1st today. We've had our first snowfall. It's freezing cold out there. Getting set up on a ladder isn't going to be very safe. And obviously, you're never going to get the eaves troughs dry. Never going to get them dry between now and May of 2021. So I've explained this carefully. That is the reason. Now, to contractors out there that may violate Bob's law or Bob's statements and go out there and do it, because again, we live in troubled economic times. No one's going to refuse money. Well, people should if they're being honest, like I'm being honest now with the viewers. If a contractor goes and takes your money, does the job, they open themselves to legal liability. Because the time they did it, they may not have been creating ice on the walkway. So they're going to come in, repair it for you. It's still going to drip and leak, I guarantee you. Now, if somebody slips or falls on that ice patch, that can be attributed to the sealant that your contractor applied. That contractor can be open to legal liability for any physical injuries to the individual, whether it's the homeowner or whether it's a guest visiting the home. So you have to be careful. I've never again found a sealant that can seal these under certain types of weather conditions. If we take a moment also to talk, because the producer and myself before the show, we talked a lot about these infomercials on television. These stop leaks, spray chemicals, spray cans, spray compounds, and even paste products. Absolute crap, absolute nonsense, a complete scam. I wouldn't spend a penny on it. Not a penny on it. That stuff says it can seal anything by slapping a band on it or applying the spray. All you're doing is wasting your money. So please be very careful. And to the gentleman that sent in the email, I'm very sorry, sir. Please wait until the spring of next year. Call back in the contractors. Bob's too busy to get everywhere. Call them in. You'll find somebody reputable and make certain you find somebody licensed. And I'm very certain they'll take care of you. We have another email here. Hello, Bob. What are the pros and cons of a wired doorbell versus wireless? This is from Sam from Dundas. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate it. Pros and cons. The best doorbell is wired. You're never going to have issues with batteries, range, connectivity, nothing like that. Advantages, again, are those. The cons are if there's an issue or it's a remodel and you never had one, the wires have to be run. So you've got the transformer in the basement. You've got the chime somewhere inside the hallway. You may have a second one upstairs or in the basement. And you have the push button on the front door. You may also want a push button on a side door or back door. All of that has to be connected with wiring. So in the case of new builds or new construction, that's what's done. If there's a problem with it, it's going to cost you money to track it. Hopefully it's the doorbell button. Always check the simplest item. Could be the transformer in the basement, could be the chime. Problem happens when it's the wires inside the walls. You can get into a remodeling mess. So at times for my customers, I like to give them the options. Basically the option is X amount of dollars to diagnose, troubleshoot, possibly cut into walls. Then we've got to install drywall, mud, tape, primer, paint, or your alternative is a wireless unit. Again, those are the pros and the cons. You have to take it that way. You have to be careful. You have to research it. Now, with the wireless doorbells, there are good, better, and best. So if you are going wireless, please make absolutely certain that at least you buy a high-quality unit. That's the key. You usually do get back what you spend. But please remember, even the wired unit, don't disregard it right away. A good contractor or a good electrician will be able to troubleshoot it, but always start logically. The cheapest, easiest thing is to undo the button off of the brick mold or the jamb, and then look at the wiring. In most cases, it corrodes. In most cases, it breaks off the bend where it's actually put on the terminal. So that's very important. Transformer, again, second item, and then even the chime itself can wear out. Very important. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
COVID-19 continues to impact almost every aspect of our lives here in Hamilton. On our next town hall, I'll be joined by Mayor Fred Eisenberger, Paul Johnson, and Dr. Elizabeth Richardson as we answer your questions about COVID-19 in the city of Hamilton. Please join me for our next live COVID-19 town hall on Thursday, December the 10th, beginning at 7 p.m. right here on Cable 14.
If you count on your network of friends for connection, your network of colleagues for collaboration, your social network for sharing, or your TV network for entertainment, it's because you also count on your network. Learn more at networksyoucancountOn.ca.
Hi, I am Larry Deanne, and I'm the host of In the Hall, which brings you each week some personalities that guide our fair city. Please tune in to find out what the latest issues are and be informed.
During these past few months, I've encountered some challenging situations as an emergency department physician, but we are passionate about helping patients. This is not just our commitment, it's our calling. When you give the gift of health this holiday season and support Hamilton Health Sciences Foundation, you are helping caregivers like me have the resources we require to deliver the best possible care. Please give the greatest gift of all, the gift of health.
Welcome back to Just Ask Bob Live. We have another email here from a viewer. Hello, Bob. What is better, door weather stripping, magnetic or compression? This is from Peter from Hamilton. Thank you, Peter. Very much appreciate the question. Now, better depends. This depends specifically on what is your door made out of. Before the popularity, or even before fiberglass doors, because they're the latest entry into this game of doors, the only choices you had were metal, typically metal. Wood doors have not been used for ages, at least not in our climate. With the metal doors, the cheaper doors, the doors you would find in stock at the big box stores, like right there in the store in the aisle, most all of them have compression weather stripping, which is a foam. That's not the best way to get a weather-tight seal against a metal door. Those doors, when you special order them, they will come with magnetic weather stripping, or obviously in the case of Gentech Building Products, their doors, metal doors, do come with magnetic weather stripping. And the key is that when you shut the door, it shuts similar to your refrigerator. So as you shut the door, you could just feel it snug itself in. It's magnetic. It's a weather-tight seal. So please do not order doors or purchase doors off the shelf that have the foam. You're not spending a lot more money. It could be anywhere from $40 to $60, depending on the manufacturer. It is probably the cheapest, most sensible, logical upgrade you can do to a door. In the case where, and I get a lot of emails on this, so I'll jump into this as well. In the case where you need to retrofit it, so it's an existing door, the weather strip's ruined and you can't get it from the manufacturer, the big box stores do have a retrofit unit, so it's magnetic and it comes on a metal track with holes in it. So you screw that into the jamb and you adjust it accordingly. If you put too much tension on it, your locks won't latch into the jamb. So you have to be careful the way that you install it. Fiberglass doors, you cannot use magnetic weather stripping because fiberglass is not magnetic. It just won't work. So you have to use a compression weather stripping. So that's basically the difference between the two. So it's not necessarily which is better, it's which is better for the door that you have. I hope that helps. We have another email coming through. Hello, Bob. What is better, a better door lock set, Schlage or Weiser? Frank from Ancaster. Terrific question, Frank. Love it. It's not my first time receiving it either. We've been getting that for ages. They are the two top locks, and I use both. I think what happens is it becomes more of a availability of style, designs. Equally, I have nothing against either door lock. They're the finest. But styles and designs, there are a lot of differences. So it's your home. It's your decision. Both install pretty well in a similar manner. Research them. And this doesn't hurt as well. Don't just take it from Bob. Do your own due diligence. Do your own research. You know, we live in the day and age of the internet. Just about anything can be found out, but please take it with a grain of salt. I am very, very good at researching things. You don't just research for 5 minutes and 3 or 4 people say Schlage's the best and the other 1 or 2 are saying Weiser's no good. You have to take everything you read on the internet with a grain of salt. So you have to do hours of research and find the common denominator. We have another email here on the screen. Bob, I have knob and tube wiring in my home. Is there a way to rewire the home without tearing out all the walls and ceilings? I'm really worried about both the possibilities. Sam from Dundas. Sam, great question. Now it depends who you hire. If you hire animals, they're going to chew your home up apart. They're going to destroy it. If you hire a gentleman, the proper type of electrician or contractor, they're going to work in a conscientious way. What I like to tell my homeowners is picture your fist. Fist-size holes up high in the ceiling and just below it maybe 5 inches in the wall. You're going to need holes like that, maybe 1 or 2 per room. Again, this depends. So the electricians can get the fishing equipment and the snaking tools into those cavities, into those fist-size holes, so they can snake and pull the wire. If you imagine now when a home's being built during new home construction, all the studs are up, everything's there, OSB for the flooring is down, subfloors. What's missing? The drywall. The electricians love it. They can run and pull wires like crazy. You can run Ethernet wires, you can run telephone, coaxial, television, satellite cabling, whatever you want. Now, this is your home, you're living in it, sir. The drywall's already up, or maybe the plaster. We cannot magically make the wiring materialize inside the walls and through the walls. So that's very, very important to understand that it depends who you hire. Again, if a contractor's a bit of an animal, he'll demo the place. If he works conscientiously and he works carefully, he will be able to pull the wires and pull them carefully to create the minimal amount of damage. Now, I'm not telling you there's going to be no damage. There will be damage, but it should be enough damage that on the smaller scale so you can patch it or you can hire a contractor to patch it for you. We're going to take another email here. Hi, Bob. My basement bathroom had water damage. Does all the framing need to be removed, or is there a way to just remove the rotted boards and replace them? Greg from Hamilton. Oh, we've got some pictures here. Okay, that's pressure treated. That's pressure treated lumber. So right off the bat, that makes me a little nervous. Pressure treated lumber shouldn't be used inside. There are cases, I mean, you have to be careful. Use some bleach to clean it up or spray some type of mold spray product on there to make things a little bit safer. But what worries me about that is the pressure treated lumber, and it is common. I've seen people use it inside of homes. You shouldn't. Now, in most cases, you shouldn't have to gut everything. Take out the wood that's the problem, replace it, but make absolutely certain you've corrected the leak. Control, can you bring that up for a second? I'm not sure if, I don't think there was any mention in there, the actual email, please. Yeah, they're just talking water damage. So again, my point is make absolutely certain your number one priority should be the water, the leak, the source of the leak. If you don't correct the source of the leak and you pull out the water damaged wood and then you replace it, you're going to be back in the exact same position you were in. So you have to be very, very careful. Now, if you have anybody in the home that's sensitive to mold, has allergies, underlying medical conditions, I strongly recommend backtrack a few steps here, and you should bring in somebody that can either do air testing or testing of the mold, or even possibly some type of mold abatement where they clean out everything for you. You have to be very careful if there's anybody with any underlying medical conditions. Otherwise, you can try to tackle it yourself. We have another one here, another viewer's email. Bob, to save money, we're looking at hiring a contractor to build us stairs instead of a staircase company. What are the risks? The staircase companies are just so very expensive. This is Rosalie from Hamilton. Great question, Rosalie. Now, there are some risks. I mean, some could say you're playing with fire. Staircase building is a very, very specialized trade. These people know what they're doing, believe it or not. If it's a staircase contracting company, they know what they're doing. Now, for that, knowing what they're doing, they're going to charge accordingly. To bring in a licensed contractor or a handyman or a do-it-yourselfer or whoever you bring in, you're taking on the risk that they're not going to do it properly, and you can be hurt if the stairs move enough or if they collapse. So again, you have to check references, you have to check licensing, you have to check that they carry liability insurance, call their references, visit some past customers. But if this is sort of a general contractor that specializes in many other things and he's just going to try to muddle through this, I don't recommend it. It can be a little bit risky. There's reasons why specialty trades exist. Staircasing is something that I've been asked about many, many times. People have asked me to build them a custom staircase. Forget it, it's not happening. Bob hasn't done that before. Bob doesn't specialize in it, but we've touched on this many, many times in the past. We truly live in troubled economic times. If the contractor is somebody of not high integrity, he or she will take your money, then they'll Google it or they'll YouTube it or they'll research it. They'll muddle through it. The job may not be what you expected it to be. It may not be safe, but they're not going to turn away your money. It takes a true person of integrity to turn away your money and say, I'm not experienced or qualified to do that job. That's the key, somebody of integrity. Not a lot of people have it, few do. That's at least my opinion on society today. So you have to be very, very careful of who you hire. My recommendation would be go with a staircase contracting company. That way you know you're going to be safe and it's going to be done properly. If it's anything less than that, research them very, very carefully. Now let me correct that and backtrack a moment. Not that if it's a staircasing company, you don't have to research them. Sure you do. Check Google reviews, check the Better Business Bureau, check for licensing, check for liability, check for insurance. Don't let anybody work on your home unless you've exhausted all avenues of checking everything. People don't do that. People rush. Today's society, you can buy a salad, every component pre-cut and ready in the bag. Cut it, throw it on the plate, throw on some dressing. That's not how it works with home renovations. Number one reason I find in my experience of rentals gone wrong, the homeowner is rushing. So not to blame the homeowners all the time, but they're definitely rushing. You cannot rush the process of finding the right contractor for you and your home. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
COVID-19 continues to impact almost every aspect of our lives here in Hamilton. On our next town hall, I'll be joined by Mayor Fred Eisenberger, Paul Johnson, and Dr. Elizabeth Richardson as we answer your questions about COVID-19 in the city of Hamilton. Please join me for our next live COVID-19 town hall on Thursday, December the 10th, beginning at 7 p.m. right here on Cable 14.
Mom, here's the mail.
Thanks, sweetie.
Mom, can I grab $20 from you today?
Yeah, sure, that's okay.
Cool, thanks.
Hi, I am Larry Deanne, and I'm the host of In the Hall, which brings you each week some personalities that guide our fair city. Please tune in to find out what the latest issues are and be informed.
During these past few months, I've encountered some challenging situations as an emergency department physician, but we are passionate about helping patients. This is not just our commitment, it's our calling. When you give the gift of health this holiday season and support Hamilton Health Sciences Foundation, you are helping caregivers like me have the resources we require to deliver the best possible care. Please give the greatest gift of all, the gift of health.
Welcome back to Just Ask Bob Live. We have a preview coming up for next week's episode. Do not miss it. It is our season finale for season 7. Enjoy the preview.
All right, so right now we've got some carpenter ants that you guys have exposed. It looks like a satellite nest. So we've got a bunch of workers in here. We've got a bunch of alates, so all these ants with wings. These are queens.
Give me a second. Let me get in tight. Show us the queen, because this is amazing.
So these are queens.
How do you know that's a queen?
So their body is much bigger than all of the rest, and they've got wings. So in the springtime, all these queens are gonna fly, and they're gonna look for their own nests.